Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Vashawn Jones, visionary of Fedora Outlier LLC. And I interrupt this normally scheduled broadcast to tell you a couple of things. Number one, the series on the Finder app for the Mac will continue when the latest edition of the operating system is released because there are some very important changes that I want to make sure that everybody has at the same time. The second thing is this. I've been working in and with and around vocational rehabilitation now for about 14 years. And it started with my case. And once I figured out what was going on, I literally said, this is ridiculous. And it wasn't ridiculous that the government was doing anything wrong. It was ridiculous that the answer was so simple that I said, Vishawn, you acted ridiculous for like a little over a year. Now, what took place is enrollment in the program, because that's what it is, it's a program. And then it took assignment of a counselor, and then it took the counselor reaching out and the counselor saying, what do you want to do? Now, I had never been blind before, so I didn't know what blind people did. And that's the reason why my case floundered for a little over a year. But she asked me a very direct question in which I had no answer to, but that was the key. That is the number one question and answer that keeps hundreds of thousands of unresolved successful cases that could be closed from being closed, right? What do you want to do? What, right? What is it that you want to do? You, not the counselor, because guess what? The counselor already gets a check. You're the one that needs the check. So, what do you want? What's your desire? What are you going to work for? What's your passion, your purpose? What's going to drive you? What do you want to do, comma, when it comes to work? Finding or creating work that is meaningful, purposeful, and profitable. And so once I figured that out and said, you know what, I want to teach people technology, then the doors open. Oh, you could become a vendor and you could teach people what you know. Oh, yeah? But then I realized, well, if I could become a vendor here, then I could become a vendor in 51 other states, right? Multiple streams of income. And then I said, if I can become a vendor of technology, then I can become a vendor of information. I can become a vendor of rehabilitation. I can open up whatever I want to do as a vendor. And then as a vendor, I realized, well, if you're doing it for them, then you can do it for other people like corporate and like the Department of Education and like privately. And so that's what I did. But here's the kicker. When I realized all of that, I realized you can do this all over the world. And that's why I'm sitting here today. Because I figured out what it was that I wanted to do. And there wasn't any gatekeepers to what I wanted to do. They would tell me no, it wouldn't work. But that's because nobody had ever done it. right? But if you do what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same results that they get. If you want different results, you have to do something different. I knew that I did not want to drive around or be driven around from house to house to house. You know, you might see 3 clients in a day, and that, man, really? For real? We got the internet. Why? And so, what is your why? What is it that you want to do? And it's not, hey, I just want to work at the call center. You know, that's where all the disabled people are going. So I guess I want to do that. No, man, when you find out what it is you want to do in life, what it is that you desire, and you really go after it, you're unstoppable. You will be amazing at what you do. And don't worry that other people have already done it before you. Do something different. How many books has there been written about the subject love? And then you get this one guy who writes about the same subject, the 5 love languages, and he becomes multimillionaire. Same subject, just a different perspective. It seems to make sense to me. So listen, vocational rehabilitation counselors, if you got somebody on your caseload that really wants to do something, send them my way. If you're on someone's caseload and you know what you want to do, let's define it. Let's break it down. Let's put it into actionable steps so that you can actually do it. So that you can make a income. Why do you think they call it self-employment? Because it has to do with you. It's the effort that you put in. It's self-esteem. How do you feel about yourself? Forget what the world thinks about you. Forget what a counselor thinks about you. It's what you think about yourself. What do you want to do? Is it self employment? Do you really want to work for Comcast or Verizon or any other company you name? And there's millions of companies out there. I mean, there's multi-billion-dollar companies that you've never heard of before, right? So, listen, I often say, let's change the world and let's change the world together. But what I'm really saying is, let's change the world and let's change the world together. What's the key word? Change. Can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result.